I found this video today that just wanted to share.
Culture share, yay, yay.
Yay.
Okay. Can you all see? Okay.
Can't hear though.
Uh-oh.
Did you click the button when you shared to share audio?
I might not have. Hang on one second.
So we will be recording the first portion of our meeting today. So all of this part will be recorded, and then once we break out into the sharing and listening part, we will then stop the recording. But I just pressed record, so.
If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you. Just make sure you understand you have it in your control to determine what this country is going to look like the next 4 years.
Two Virginians and an immigrant walk into a room diametrically opposed foes. They emerge with a compromise, having opened doors that were previously closed. Rose, the immigrant, emerges with unprecedented financial power, a system he can shape however he wants. The Virginians emerge with the nation's capital, and here's the pièce de résistance. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the game is played, the art of the trade, how the sausage gets made. We just assume that it happened, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Thomas claims
Alexander was on Washington's doorstep one day in distress and disarray.
Thomas claims
Alexander said,
I've nowhere else to turn.
and basically begged me to join the fray.
Thomas claims
I approached Madison and said, I know you hate him, but let's hear what he has to say.
Thomas claims
I arranged the meeting. I arranged the menu, the venue, the seating.
what? No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the parties get to yes, the pieces that are sacrificed in every game of chess. We just assume that it happens, but no one else is in the room where it happens. Meanwhile, Madison's grappling with the fact that not every issue can be settled by committee. Meanwhile, Congress is fighting over where to put the capital. It isn't pretty. The Jefferson approaches with a dinner and invite. Madison responds with Virginian insight.
Maybe we can solve one problem with another and win a victory for the Southerners. In other words, a quid pro quo.
I suppose.
Wouldn't you like to work a little closer to home?
Actually, I would.
Well, I propose the Potomac.
And you'll provide him his vote?
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Let's go.
No. What else was in the room where it happened? The room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. My God, in God we trust, but we never really know what got discussed. Click, boom, and it happened. And no one else was in the room where it happened. Alexander Hamilton. What did they say to you to get you to sell New York City down the river? Alexander Hamilton. Did Washington know about the dinner? Was the presidential pressure to deliver? Alexander Hamilton. Or did you know even then it doesn't matter where you put the U.S. capital?
Because we all have the banks. We're in the same spot.
You got more than you gave.
And I wanted what I got. When you got skin in the game, you stay in the game. But you don't get a win unless you play in the game. Oh, you get love for it, you get hate for it. You get nothing if you wait for it, wait for it, wait. God help and forgive me. I want to build something that's gonna outlive me.
What do you want, girl? What do you want, girl?
If you stand for nothing, girl, what do you fight for?
I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. they trade away. Yeah. We dream of a brand new start, but we dream in the dark for the most part. Dark as a tomb where it happens. I've got to be in the room. I've got to know. I've got to know. I've got to be in the room. I wanna be. I gotta be there. I wanna be in the room. Click vote.
When we vote, things change. When we vote, things get better. When we vote, we address the need for all people to be treated with dignity and respect in our country.
What do you want to do with your one precious?
Woohoo!
Woo!
Sorry about that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Emily.
Sure.
Really perfect timing for that, and it was really exciting delivery as well. So I appreciated that a lot.
And
I'm
I
so-
also,
Oh, go ahead.
I also just wanted to say that it made me realize too that coincidentally, these community check-ins and these like Zoom rooms are becoming like the room where our co-op building is happening. And I'm so glad that you are all here for that, to
Yes.
participate in cooperative democracy right here.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you for that. I'm so excited to see all these beautiful faces here. We have lots of new people with us and people who have been here month after month, people who have been who are new to the co-op, people who have been around but haven't made it to a meeting yet, or a check-in yet. So I'm really excited to see all these people here today. So I'm just going to do a quick intro. This is our agenda for the day. So we're going to go ahead into our check-in, then we'll do some updates from the board, then we'll break out into rooms for questions for anybody who has more, wants to know more information about the co-op. We'll have an opportunity for that. And then we'll go into our listening circle where it's intended for the board to take some time to listen to our community who has joined us today to hear from you all and your thoughts, and then we'll close out. Before we go any further into that though, let's just do some quick housekeeping, and we can start off with our land acknowledgement. And Jupang, did you want to do that for us today? Because I know you typically do that.
I do usually do that, and I don't have it the language right in front of me, but I'm happy to do it as much as I can from memory, which I think is the better, more authentic way. In fact, just today I was looking at this beautiful map and project created by Lisa Brooks, who is the author of Our Beloved Kin, which is an incredible book about the native history of this region. And when I say this region, I'm talking about the Quinecticut Valley. So it stretches from Narragansett territory in the south, in Rhode Island, all the way up to Abenaki territory, and maybe even further north to Ganawage, which is Mohawk territory, north of Vermont, and all the way to the east, Wabanaki territory, which is kind of more up in Maine to the coast, and then to the west, I think it's Mohegan territory to the west. And her book, Our Beloved Kin, tells the incredible story of the leader of this region was actually a woman, and she was not recognized as a leader because it just didn't compute with the British colonial settlers, invaders. And so her book and her research completely turns upside down what most people in this region understand as the history of this land. So that's not the usual way that we do the land acknowledgement, but that's what was present for me today. The the usual land acknowledgement we do is from some students of Lisa Brooks and Manuel Peak at Amherst College. And they did some of the research that informed Lisa Brooks' book, which is that this territory that we call Amherst now was Nonotuck territory. And the many other indigenous communities around Nonotuck territory traversed through this area. This was land that was stolen from those people. And part of our co-op's mission is to not only acknowledge that history, but to redress the harms and the wrong that was done in the past. So thank you for
that.
participating in that project.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Jupang. And oh, okay. So I'll say our for today, our housekeeping is just to stay muted when you are not speaking so that we can hear well when everybody else is speaking. If you are able to, please share your video with us, which I see most people are, because we love to see everybody's faces. It really brings the community into the space. If you have any questions while we're speaking and sharing anything, go ahead and post those into the chat, and we'll have some folks in the chat helping to answer those in the meantime, or if they're bigger questions, we can address them afterwards. And finally, I did mention this before, but the first part of our meeting will be recorded, and then we will turn off the recording for our listening portion when we get into the conversation. And I did want to say before we move on that this portion that you all just experienced a few minutes ago, where we were sharing video, music, some cultural piece with everybody. This is something we started a couple of meetings ago, which was an idea of Jupang's that she brought into the space. And so I want to invite everybody here that if you have anything like that you would want us to share in a future community check-in, please feel free to send those our way. You can always send them to community@commonsharefood.coop, or you can pop them into the chat right now if you have a link that you want us to share, or you can send it to us. However, we'll find a more organized way to do that in the future. But I'd love to hear from you all if you have something like that you'd like to share. So the next portion we're going to go into is our updates from the board. Gonna just situate myself here. Can you all see this? Yes. Okay, good. So this is our board. Oh, we didn't do an introduction from each person in the board. Can we just really quickly, because we're already into our time, just introduce each person? So I'm Kinga, I'm the board president. I go by she, they pronouns.
I'm Jupang, I'm the secretary. I go by she, her. Thank you.
I'm Emily. I'm the community engagement coordinator and also a board member, and I go by she, her.
I'm Sue Morello. I'm the treasurer, and I go by she, her.
Awesome. I'd love to hear from any community members who want to introduce themselves. If you want to share your name, your pronouns, and whether or not you are a member owner, and you can feel free to unmute when you feel called to.
Hi, my name is Devin. I am a UMass student, moved up here from Philadelphia last year. I'm a graduate student right now, and I'm so happy to be here. She, her.
Hey everybody, my name is Zoe, she, her pronouns. I joined the co-op this summer, just living in Amherst, and glad to see some new faces.
Paulina, she, her. I don't know what else to say. I'm a member, hoping things will get started sooner rather than later.
Hi, I'm Terry. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a member owner, I think. Yeah, thanks.
My name's Chad. I go by We Us. Been a long time member, volunteer. I want to see the economic model developed and promulgated nationwide.
I think I turned on my sound. Did it work? Yay! I'm using my phone for the first time. My name is Molly. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a member owner, but have not been able to attend a community check-in in a while. So I'm really excited to be here. It's so nice to see everyone.
Hi, my name is Sarah and I use they, them. And I'm a member owner and I go to UMass. But I also grew up in this area for my whole life. So I think it's really interesting to sort of see development and change happen. Yeah, thank you.
Peace, y'all. I'm DW McCraven. I'm a member owner. No lie, I'm taking a shower right now, so it's that kind of day where you haven't taken a shower all day. But I'm excited to be here. I'm about that community life. So anything that is about like encouraging the growth of humanity and healing, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. I see Madeline over there is cooking something, preparing something.
Hi, I'm Madeline, she, her pronouns, and I'm processing my anise hyssop. And I'm a member owner. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for introducing yourself. Okay, so now we can hop into our report for you all. Okay. So we have quite a few things that we've accomplished, and I'm only going to go through the top 3 things in each slide, but don't worry, we will send this all out for you so that you have it, so you can review it more. So first we're going to talk about what we can celebrate that we completed in October, which has been separated into 3 categories: our community engagement, business, and governance. So for community engagement, we are still running our 31 and 31 campaign for the month of October to celebrate National Co-op Month. And so far we've brought in 17 out of 31 members, and we're so excited about that. That's fantastic. 4 of them have come from our Solidarity Shares, which is also really exciting because we finally launched the ability to get that done this month. So that's really exciting. Our grand total right now is at 720. Woo woo! We planned our member owner calling campaign, which the training is going to be on the 5th of next month. And so we've been talking about that for a few months, about getting that prepared, which we will be calling all of our, or hopefully we'll be able to get to all of our member owners, and it'll be a community of member owners calling fellow member owners, checking in and offering resources to each other, especially throughout these, because it's going to take, all the months of the winter to get that done. We have 720 of us. So that's going to be a really great way to build heat and warmth throughout the winter together, and really check in with each other to see what everyone needs. We also did a lot of tabling at Simple Gifts Farms, Brookfield Farm, and Amherst Mobile Market, which a number of our community members who are on the call today have helped with that tabling. So thank you so much for your efforts with that. That's been really fantastic and has been a huge help with our 31 and 31, and just getting people excited as we are going into the winter months, as we're also in quarantine. For governance, we held a board retreat on the 6th of this month, where the board got together for a 4-hour retreat, and we updated our member owner development timeline along with the timeline for the whole co-op up until construction and all of that. So we really mapped out all of the big items that are going to need to get done and organize them in terms of what needs to get done before other things, and making sure that we've accounted for each of those steps and put them into an order and added kind of rough dates to that and goals and objectives around that. We established operational systems, culture, and criteria for our onboarding system for board members and committee members, because we are preparing for growth on our team. As you can see right now, we have 4 board members, and it's been that way for some months. Our committees have not been completely active because we've been doing a lot of this operational work right now to make sure that our systems and culture are really strong as we move forward, because we're getting ready for some big growth and some big movement. So now that those systems and structures are almost finalized and in place, we're preparing for that growth. We are putting final touches on our board handbook for new board members, as well as our system for holding board members accountable, and finally publishing our expectations document that we've been working on for the last couple of months, which is extensive and detailed. So we're really excited about that. In business, we've updated our website to include the changes in our payment plan options and our payment options in general, which is why we're excited about getting some new Solidarity shares in, because that's how that's able to be done. So again, I'm just going to call you out, Zoe. Thank you so much for helping us set up our website for these payment options. And you all had the chance to see and include your word in us making those changes. And we're really appreciative to everybody who gave us your input on that. We're really excited we were able to launch that. And we've already seen that it's really been a big difference to people who can use that kind of support with different payment plan options. We also held we held an event called Collective Hope with Amaha Selassie, who's the board president of Gem City Market. He's become a good friend and mentor to me, and we met at the up and coming conference in March, and he came on to talk about how we can build a public health case for our co-op, because that is a big needle mover that helped Gem City Market get support from their community, as well as funding, and really tying what the public health crisis is that's happening in the community to how the co-op can help. And that really builds a strong case for us. So we did that last week, and that was a huge success. We started to double check all of the payment history data from the beginning of time with our payment plans for all of our member owners, which is quite a lot of data. And, it's really important that we get all of that very clean and organized. So we've been scrubbing through all of that information and getting it set up to be in automation, so that no longer needs to be done in a manual fashion. We're really excited about that. In November, we plan to, within community engagement, we will be starting our member owner calling campaign. So again, we have our training on the 5th, which is anybody who is interested in helping us with those efforts and joining in on that project can join us for that training. And there is a script that we've been working on for some time, a resource list that we're going to be offering. And you'll be getting a calling list of your own. So it's all set up to make it as easy as possible for our member owners. We're excited for that to get started this upcoming month. We will be organizing more virtual events like watch parties, conversations with other co-ops like we did with Amaha, and house parties, because we just can't do things in person, and we really want to ramp up the community aspect that we feel happening even in these community check-ins. It's really a beautiful time for us to come together to brainstorm and do the work together, and also to share this information with people who are not a part of the co-op. I'm excited to see that so many of that everybody here on the call today is a member owner, and we're excited to continue to bring more people in from the community by holding more virtual events like this that other folks can participate in and start to learn more about what co-ops are and what, not everybody, because we have, is it Devin? Yeah. Yes. So, but I just wanted to acknowledge that we have people from the community who are joining in these community calls, and we want to continue to reach people from the community in that way.
I'm also a member owner.
Oh, yay! Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. That's so exciting. And I'm so excited to have you be a part of our community. So, okay, so either or, here or there. And also building up partnerships with like-minded organizations is top on our list right now, really wanting to find like what are our sibling organizations that are out there that really share a similar messaging and align with our vision that we can work with to help us build this case and help us make connections within the co-op to really make our resources strong and our community strong by banding together. And that's really part of our mission, is creating an inclusive space where people from all over the community can come together for local resilience. In governance, we are starting to recruit and accept applications for new board members. Woot woot. If you have an interest in joining us on the board, or if you know someone who you think would be really a strong board candidate, that now is the time to start inviting them in to apply and start talking to them about what that would look like. And we're going to be releasing more information about that very soon. We will also be building up our committees with new volunteers. So maybe you're not ready to step on the board, or you don't know somebody who would be a board member, but maybe you are interested in joining in on some of the committees that are, and our committees are really going to be working on some of the major projects that we need in order to move forward. So our committees are really valuable and strong players, and get to work as a team with our board. So that's another thing that we'll be doing in November, and also finalizing those board system structures and culture that we mentioned that we were establishing before. This is going to be, put into PDF, like off of Google document, finalized, and made most likely, and most of the information will be made public for our community to be able to see as well. So that was a larger project that we've been working on for the past, I would say 6 months of creating a community agreement where we all came together to really decide, like, what does this look like? We asked you all and in our community to support us with this. And so we'll be finalizing this in November. In business, we will start to build out the automation, such as our payment plan tracking system. Part of what is holding us back on that is actually, I'm going to jump down to this bottom item, which is the reorganizing and consolidating all of our data information on spreadsheets to create a dynamic database, because our, like I said, since the beginning of time when I was talking about our payment plan options, because we have data that's been sitting for a long time being collected in different areas, we're starting to really reorganize and consolidate that so that we can start building these automations. And the payment plan tracking system will be the first one that we hopefully will be starting with. We also are organizing with volunteers who want to help with our case building project. We've had a number of different people who have reached out to us with their own ideas and projects that they have envisioned and are wanting to initiate. So we're organizing with different people to see how we can effectively and efficiently make movement with the case building project. And also we want to document our co-op's story to be published and gain traction for funding. There is so much that has happened over the history of the co-op that has brought us to where we are now and where we are headed. And now I think is a really great time for us to document that and to share it with our community. And it's something that we've seen other co-ops gain a lot of traction for funding and for community growth. So that's one other thing that we'll be working on in November. Some roadblocks that we're experiencing is between COVID, the movement for Black Lives, and the election. We're all in a collective crisis mode, every single one of us. And our board has been going strong since all of this has happened. We haven't taken any time to slow down. And so we're doing our best to maintain our individual and collective health while also continuing to build the co-op's momentum. So let's be compassionate with each other, because we're all experiencing this right now. And it's something that we definitely see affecting our board in a number of different ways, even when it comes to having the capacity to get work done. We all have jobs that are, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have jobs that are pulling us in different directions because of all of these different things that are happening. Some of us have lost our jobs. You know, I know that I'm struggling to find the resources to pay rent like a lot of other Americans are right now. And so this is just a moment that we're all really in crisis, and it's heavy that we have the you know, responsibility of moving forward this project and wanting to do it quickly, because we know that everybody is very eager to get the resources from the co-op, as are we. And so we're just giving our compassion to everybody in the co-op and asking that from you all in return, as we are doing our best to find health within our own families and our own lives, and making sure that we're all maintaining health. Because burnout is something that we've seen a lot in our co-op, and we've also seen it literally crush the efforts of other co-ops that we've worked with. So, you know, there is some burnout that's happening right now within our board, a small amount, I would say, as we are starting to get to the tail end of board redevelopment efforts. Like I said, we've been working on this for some time to really clean up our systems, and now we are starting to see the benefits of our hard work. As we're getting to end of that, and we're starting to get ready to build capacity, but we're, you know, we make it a point to not sacrifice ourselves for the co-op, because that is literally against the mission of the co-op, for us all to be well and all to be nourished. So it's important for us that we maintain that as we maintain the hard work. What our co-op can use from you, what we need as help, is one, get a friend to join in on the final days of our 31 for 31 campaign. If you know anybody who has been on the fence about joining the co-op or is interested and they just don't know much, now is a really great time to get them to join and to build up this momentum in our 31 and 31. Again, this is a celebration of National Co-op Month, and also a way that we can really build up steam and excitement as we go in to the winter months. We are looking for volunteers for joining our calling project, a calling campaign project, for checking in on our member owners. That's what I was talking about in terms of the training that's happening on the 5th of next month. We will be doing the calling campaign project all throughout the winter. So if you have any capacity for any amount of that, we'd love to have you join in on that. We can use support with leading virtual events. With help from the board. You won't be doing this on your own, unless of course you have something that you want to do and you have the capacity to do that. Excuse me. But if you have any ideas for virtual events, or if you have the capacity to help with, you know, organizing and setting up tech or anything like that, we absolutely welcome and support that, because we can always use that kind of support. Making connections with local like-minded organizations. Like we said, right now we really want to build that capacity in our community. So if you have connections, or you have organizations that you're really fond of and excited about, and you feel like they have a good mission that aligns with ours, we would love some support in making those connections. And finally, like we mentioned before, we're starting to build capacity for our board and committees. So making recommendations and or volunteering yourself for either our board or our committees. Especially right now, we're looking to build up our engagement committee, our IT committee, which is anybody who has tech background, our fundraising committee, and our business planning committee. So the engagement committee really works on community events and supporting with like tabling, or with doing communication like social media and things like that, is all things that engagement committee can help with. Our IT committee would be helping us with things like our spreadsheet cleaning up, our database, helping us organize our behind the scenes with like our Google Suite and things like that, that are just little minute details that really stuff up our work. The fundraising committee is going to be working closely in hand with the engagement committee, because engagement has a lot to do with fundraising, but really coming up with different ideas for fundraising, and then really initiating those efforts and helping with the organizing of those efforts. That might include writing, events, different things like that. And our business planning committee is working on gathering right now. It has a lot to do with gathering our story, gathering the different data that we're going to need, the case building. All of that is going to ultimately feed into our business plan. And so right now we're not quite prepared to write the business plan. We have bits and pieces of it, but what we're really doing is gathering the information and data for that. So that was a lot. Right now, I want to open it up to see if you have any questions for us that pertains to the information that we just shared. Is there anything specific that either came up in the comments I wasn't able to follow, or that you're unsure about or want to know more information about in terms of what we accomplished in this past month, what we plan on accomplishing next month, what we need help with, or anything like that?
You want to say something?
I'll just add that I wrote it in the chat too, but for those of you who haven't been to one of our check-ins before, we will be sending out a volunteer form afterwards so that you can sign up for any of the things that Kinga just mentioned that we could use more help with. So be on the lookout in your email for that afterwards.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. All of those opportunities that we need help with will be in that form, so you can easily let us know.
So if we're on this Zoom, we'll get that in our email. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, this is Jupong. While folks are thinking about what questions they might have, I just thought I would share, you know, as Kinga was talking about the different needs we have and the different skills in volunteers and committees that we need. I was thinking about what I've been doing the last few days at work, which is I work at a college, a low residency college, and we've been interviewing for a position that is vacant right now, which is the registrar position. And it's just been so interesting to hear from and ask people, you know, what we need is someone who's, you know, like a total data freak, someone who is passionate about accuracy of data and records and really excited about that, and also really gets that Goddard College is social justice. Our mission is social justice. And so I just, as you know, as Kinga was talking about the different needs we have in our volunteer positions, that came to mind, because we did find someone who is a real data geek and, you know, spoke about it with a lot of enthusiasm, and is very social justice oriented. And so that's something that we have a need for in the co-op, is, you know, someone who has IT experience or communications that is really passionate about that, and that can really see how the food sovereignty, food justice mission of the co-op matches up really well with that, you know, because we have that kind of need in all kinds of organizations. So that's my plug for IT person.
Yeah, well, we like I said, we need our whole committee of IT to be built up. So we need multiple, we need a whole team of people so that it doesn't, and that's one thing we're really focused on, is not leaving leadership into one person's hands in the co-op, because that's not a sustainable way to manage any large organization. We need to be able to have people working as a community, and for our systems and operations to be a collective, so everybody can step in and take their part. And if something happens to somebody, or they need to step down or step back for a reason, that there's space to do that, and we can all take care of ourselves. So I'm not sure if everyone had a chance to ask the questions that they wanted. I'm not seeing anybody. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody like jumping to ask a question. No questions. Yay. Excited.
I guess I have a question.
Yes.
But I don't know if this is the forum for it, so it might be inappropriate and you can just stop me.
Sure.
I'm just wondering what's happening with the venue search.
Yes, that is a big question that is on a lot of people's minds. And what I will say about that is we have a goal right now that's set, that once we get to 750 member owners, we will be officially launching our site search committee. We have a few folks who have been working on this project kind of in the background already. But as I said, we're at 720 member owners. So we're only 30 away from actually launching that committee. And as of right now, that really looks like doing research and understanding the land that we're on and the development, and seeing kind of where the opportunities are. There's a lot of change that's happening right now due to COVID in terms of development and locations. So there's a lot up in the air, and we're not quite ready to make any commitments yet. So we have put on our timeline that we will be launching our site search committee within the next few months. Once we get to, or when we get to that 750, it might be less than a few, maybe a couple. And then they'll be doing some research and things of that nature. And then, we'll be releasing our timeline soon to let you all know a little bit more specifics of kind of what that will look like in terms of development. I hope that answers your question, but it's a big question. So, and I know it's on a lot of people's minds. But I guess the short answer is we're not quite ready to look at sites, but we are researching sites. We've done a couple of tours last year, and so we're looking into the details. There will be more to come soon.
The reality is we need more member owners first, so get all your friends to join.
Mm-hmm. And also the public health case is going to help a lot with that too, to identify like where exactly the need is, and what is exactly happening with the stats and facts that are happening in our community. So all the projects we're working on right now is leading up to that, and the business plan and all of those big heavy hitters. Okay, so I love this.
Could you unpack? Could you unpack a little bit why the tipping point, or what the critical nature is of the number of member owners? Is that something that then for financing that it comes up? Is that something in the business model, in the planning? How does that figure as such a crucial piece?
Yeah, Emily, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah, so essentially, because co-ops are owned, obviously by us, by community members, member owners are traditionally the primary funders of the store. And so once we get to a number where we feel like it's safe enough, we've got a big pool of people who support this project, we will, and we have a location, we will launch a capital campaign to raise the funds for the store. And obviously not everyone will be able to provide a small loan that is needed to build the store. So we have to have a large pool of people that we can go to. So on average, about 20 to 25% of member owners will give during a capital campaign, and the average size loan will be somewhere in the $5,000 range, some less, some bigger. And we will also get funding from other sources like grants and bank loans as well, but co-ops are primarily funded through their member owners. Yeah, we're not a traditional business that has access to other types of financing like other businesses do.
And then, of course, there's the point in terms of once the store is open, we need people who will shop at the store. And so the more member owners that we get, the more that it actually secures our business for the future, so that the co-op can actually be sustained. Because there is definitely stories that we've heard of co-ops that open and then they don't have the business to stay open. So that's another piece of it. Madeline, do you have a question?
I do.
Okay,
So I
and
just
I'll
want to make
this will
sure.
be our last question because I want to wrap up into our listening circle. But go ahead.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand the new equity loan. Is that $25 for one-time membership for people that self-identify as low income?
That's
and
correct.
$0 if you identify as a BIPOC.
That is correct.
Okay,
And
well, that really changes the whole, pitch to our friends
what friends?
that we're going to invite to join the co-op.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yes. So if you are identified as low income, then you have the option for the $25 one-time payment. And if you identify as BIPOC, you have the option for the $0 payment. And so we have a solidarity fund that we have all of our donations going into, and there is ability to donate on our website. We've had donations come in from out of town and from all kinds of people who want to help fund the co-op, but are interested in supporting other folks who are in our community and want to have funds, or have shares. And so this has been a really great effort to bring support from all over, and also to get more folks in to be able to become member owners who haven't had the chance to do so.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to jump in. I know you want to get to the next piece, but just real quick, this is Jupong. I just wanted to say a couple words in response to the last couple of questions. One word is reparations. I do think that what we're talking about is reparations, is, not just this idea like everyone has equal capacity to give equal amounts, because historically there has been land and resources stolen from certain groups of people, than others. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on quickly was about, as Kinga explained, the co-op is a really different business model than the typical capitalist model, where you have one or a couple of people with a lot of wealth able to invest in a business, and they have all the power and control over the business. This is radically different. This is a model of, wanting everyone who has any capacity to contribute to the business to do so, and then we work from there, those who have more resources, and acknowledging that sometimes those resources have been gotten due to the inherent inequity of the system, right? And so the co-op is a way of redressing that. And that's why it takes so much time, because we have to educate everybody who are member owners and everybody in the community that this isn't just a simple matter of, a couple of wealthy people pooling the money, but it's everyone buying into this co-op, and how can we support everyone to equally have a share in this business that we will all cooperatively own. So I just wanted to put a little word in for that.
Absolutely. And Zoe shared a link in the chat that you can look at the beautiful work that she has done on our website to express all of this. There's a chart on there as well that gives more of an idea of which payment plan might work or payment option might work for folks. You know, rather than reparations, since reparations is very systemic and has much larger effect, and the amount of money that we're offering people or exchange is not quite equal to that, but rather wealth distribution as a general term is one of our core values that you can see in our language as well as in our value sheet. And this is also a great opportunity for you to share with your friends who maybe are already member owners or who aren't member owners or who want to support an effort like this, who again might not even be from in our area but might see the value of supporting this. Is not only are we looking for people to become member owners, but we're also accepting donations. So there's number of options to donate on the website, and those donations go towards these solidarity shares so that we can have a diverse community in our co-op. So we have gone a little bit off of our agenda for today. I'd really like to open up the space for us to have this listening circle so we can hear more from you all and your ideas. I totally respect anybody who needs to hop off right at the 8:30 mark. I'm thinking we might go maybe 5 or 10 minutes beyond that with this conversation. And I would love to invite anybody who is interested in having that conversation to stay on. Do we have folks who would want to participate in this section? We have a number of people who are putting their hands up. Okay. Like I said, I totally respect anybody who needs to log off before then. The question that we wanted to, and this section, okay. Thank you everyone who's watching the replay. I'm going to turn that off now.